Hello, this is part 3 of how to build muscle and get jacked. This part will focus on recovery, and before actually starting the guide, I would like to give you some information and knowledge on what the muscle is actually built with. So it is built with muscle fibers which get torn apart, micro tears, what I mean, when training is induced and they get repaired, and plus if there's enough resources around like amino acids, proteins and specific hormones, more muscle is built on top of that when the fibers get repaired. So this is because it makes it easier for you to reach homeostasis. How do you reach homeostasis in this thing? You reach it by building on more muscle so that you reach homeostasis, so so your body makes it easier for you that you can lift more heavier next time or lift the same weight next time. It just makes it easier. So to aid the repair of these damaged fibers, which is the point of this guide, we'll have to improve our recovery, and most of the repair of these damaged fibers occurs in our sleep. So we will do anything and everything possible to improve our sleep. So I'll go through the whole guide on how to maximize your sleep and the quality of the sleep that you get. For the body to actually fall asleep and stay asleep, its temperature needs to drop by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius before it can do so. I've realized that when my room is really warm and soft, I can't fall asleep as easy as I can when the room is chilled out, it's cool, not totally freezing, but when it's cool, that's when I can fall asleep the easiest and the fastest. So do whatever you can to keep your body temperature low. What I do is like I'll fight with my father to keep the house thermometer down at 17 degrees Celsius. I basically start bickering with him just to get down the temperature lower. Why? Because it's gonna help me sleep better, and if it's gonna help me sleep better, it's gonna get me more jacked. Plus, I'm gonna be more productive the next day for whatever task I may need to do. So, do basically whatever to get your body temperature lower. I suggest the following things: changing the house thermometer to 16 or 17 degrees Celsius, sleeping naked, shirtless, whatever works for you. I personally have been sleeping shirtless for the past few years, and it's been doing wonders for me. Use a fan. I got my fans downstairs now. Use a table fan like I usually have in the videos, or get an air conditioner for your own personal use. Open up the windows, let the wind come in, cool you off so you can sleep better. What I also like doing is taking a warm shower beforehand. It plus first of all it relaxes me. Second of all, it triggers my body to cool down as a form of a negative feedback loop, which I previously discussed in the part 1 of the guide. So take a look at it. What's a negative feedback loop? And second of all, you have to get your heart rate low, which means you have to relax. You have to chill the fuck out. You can't go to sleep excited. So remember when we were kids, and right on the next day we used to have a field trip or something, like we are going out from the school, and at those nights after packing up, after tucking ourselves in bed, we couldn't go to sleep. Why? Because we are so excited and we are so thrilled to look at the day forward. We just keep fantasizing, visualizing of what it's gonna be and how much fun we are gonna have. So, but now you get excited about different things, don't you? Like the girls in your life, which you keep fantasizing and thinking about. Are they doing the same for you? Probably not. So forget about them. Focus on the day ahead. Plan out the day ahead. Put it on a paper or plan it out in your mind. Making a task list also helps. It like relaxes me, brings me to peace that okay, something productive is gonna happen tomorrow. And all of this boring shit also gets you like pretty sleepy. So do that instead of getting excited. Otherwise, you also take a warm shower, previously mentioned. So scientifically, it's gonna cause vasodilation. Vasodilation is the expansion of blood vessels due to exposure to heat or any other stimulus. So when the blood vessels expand, it's able to carry away more blood from the muscle, so that it carries away more of the toxins which have been built up due to the stress that you've been putting at it, and it also is able to bring in more nutrients to the muscle, like specific amino acids and the kind of hormones that you need to actually build muscle. So get in a warm shower, get your stuff vasodilated, so that more blood comes in for your muscle recovery, and enjoy and relax. What I've done and I've started doing it recently, is I'll just basically lie down there shirtless on the floor, and it calms me down. 10 minutes right before bed. I'll just lay there and think about the next day. It calms me down, it reduces my heart rate, and the floor is like really cold too. It's pretty good because, as I told, the body needs to be cooler than regular to fall asleep. Another thing is that I've tried doing what's called an NSDR. NSDR is basically non-sleep deep rest. Search on YouTube, Dr. Andrew Huberman, NSDR. 15 minutes, 10 minutes. Just watch the videos and follow along with the instruction that he gives you. It's called non-sleep deep rest, and basically it forces you to mimic the state of falling asleep or being asleep, which actually helps you to fall asleep and be asleep. So basically what I do is I'll put on the NSDR by Dr. Andrew Huberman. I'll lay down there shirtless and just chill the fuck out and just follow along with the video. Another thing I've started doing is mouth taping. I know, yes. So, I finally have the mouth tapes. You basically buy a surgical tape or a micropore tape and you put it in your mouth when you go to sleep. Like this, it easily also comes off. So why are we doing this? Basically, what I've researched is that mouth breathing is worse than nose breathing. You gain more oxygen while you're nose breathing. So if you're gaining more oxygen goes to the muscle, and the better recovery it's gonna have. And also mouth breathing like fucks up your face too. So immediately start nose breathing for 8+ hours when you put this shit on. And I suggest you like take multiple of these strips and just put it on your nightstand. So you can just immediately take one, replace one if it becomes less sticky. I've like personally experienced that when I don't put this on, nose tape, I wake up feeling less refreshed. Why? Because I've been mouth breathing the whole night and I'm not taking in as much oxygen as my body needs to recover. So nose breathe by putting this on when you go to sleep, right before you go to sleep. It will not cause you to choke or suffocate. Why? Because this tape is very light. So immediately when you're gasping for air, your mouth opens, the tape immediately comes off, as shown here. But it gives slight amount of resistance so that subconsciously your mouth stays closed. So in this part of the guide, I'll talk about the light and the absence of light, which we can use to improve our sleep, to better our recovery. So what I've heard is that blue light is very stimulatory to you. Blue light will excite you, blue light will keep you awake, and red light or warmer colors of light will mellow you down and chill you the fuck out. So what I've devised is having no blue light before 3 hours of sleep, because it's gonna stimulate you, it's gonna make you feel awake, then you can't go to sleep as good. So do this. Go to your personal device, your phone, your laptop, your computer, whatever. You go to the settings and you search up night light. Or you search up night light filter, whatever. And turn that to the maximum strength and turn it on so that it turns on like 3 hours before sleep. Why? It's basically gonna make your screen red and it's gonna remove all of the blue light that's coming off the screen. So if no blue light comes off the screen, you don't see any, then you fall asleep better because you're more chilled out and not stimulated. I still can't believe like people haven't figured this shit out and they still think that looking at the phone at like full brightness at night isn't gonna affect them at all. Then they say that they can't fall asleep. Why? Because they've been looking at blue light, and that when they don't fall asleep, they look at their phones because what are they gonna do otherwise? Which puts them more in a more awakened state, and they can't fall asleep now because they're on their phone, which turns into this like vicious cycle, as you can understand. My dad is exactly like this. He'll continually watch TV from like 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. for countless hours, then which is like, and the content on the TV is of course very stimulatory. Of course more blue light is coming in than supposed to, right? And then he goes upstairs when it's time to sleep. Then he can't fall asleep on the bed, and when he can't fall asleep on the bed, he picks up his phone and he starts scrolling, because what else is he gonna do? And when he does start scrolling, more stimulatory content and more blue light is coming in, which makes him more awake, which turns into a vicious cycle again, as I mentioned. And then he can't fall asleep till like 2 or 3 a.m. And the next day, when he wakes up at 9 a.m. or something, he's sleep deprived. See how your entire next day gets messed up when you don't take care of your sleep? So go to your settings in your phone and turn on the night light filter or the blue light filter and turn it to a maximum strength 3 hours before you go to sleep. Also, turning the lights in your house down or making them as dim as possible. Instead of putting out the bright light over the dinner table while you're having dinner, maybe ask your parents to, maybe can we turn on the lamps? Maybe can we turn on the yellow, mellowed down lights? Just ask them, because these lights are going to have more warm exposure to you and less blue light, so that you fall and stay asleep better. Just ask your parents if you can turn on these lights, because it's going to help you sleep better. And if you sleep better, the next day is more productive and you get more jacked as a result. You may not have to say that because they'll take it as shallow, but whatever. Also, having a dark room or a lack of light in your room is going to help you fall asleep better. In my own experience and according to science, when I'm in a pitch black room, like yesterday I slept downstairs, I don't know why, but everything was pitch black. I couldn't see anything come in. The blinds were closed, all of the doors were closed, no light is coming in to stimulate me and to like make me feel awake. It was just me, my thoughts, and probably a book I have next to me. It's gonna help me get kicked into sleep better. So when you're preparing for bed, turn off any source of light that may come through. Turn off the lamps, turn off the LED lights which you're using. Personally, this monitor turns on randomly at night, so which is going to cause me to get more blue light into my eyes, but I figure out a way to turn it off. I'll unplug it, I'll do whatever, and I'll close the blinds on this window so that no outside light comes in. But the blinds like do hit the window frame and they start making noise, which is gonna make me more awake. So I just put this chair right up next to the blind so it's like locked in. You can try doing the same. And working hard during the day to fall asleep better. So if you have followed my advice in the first two parts of the guide, you have trained really hard every single day or most days of your life, and you have ate pretty well, like animal fats and proteins, which are going to help you get into your natural circadian rhythm so you can fall asleep easier. Personally, on rest days like today, I haven't done shit physically. I've just sat in my house, I've gone for a coffee and had a meal, that's it. And I'm still pretty awake, and in a couple of hours I have to go to sleep. But I haven't done shit physically, and I'm not knackered down, and I believe my sleep would not be as good because I'm not tired. So I suggest you do physical shit, do hard shit during the day so that your brain is tired or that your body is tired, so you can sleep better at night and get jacked. Sunlight. Dr. Andrew Huberman says that viewing sunlight right after waking up for 5 minutes is going to help you sleep better at night, because it's going to reset your circadian rhythm to be in a more natural state rather than in a artificial caffeinated state, which it usually is. Because something like the photons coming from the sun stimulate your retinas and make you feel more awake. So what I'm telling you to do is view sunlight right after waking up for 5 minutes to like reset your circadian rhythm, and so that you fall asleep better at night. I've also heard that seeing the sunset at night or seeing the orange colored light which comes off the sunset is going to help you sleep better, because perhaps it's the warm light coming from the sun, perhaps it's the light which marks the end of the day, which like primarily resets you or sets you to like fall asleep in a couple of hours. Just view more natural light throughout the day, basically. Or if you wake up in a country or a time where there's no sunlight and you want to keep waking up at that time, I suggest looking at bright artificial lights, like not directly at the light, but keeping your eyes wide open in presence of a bright artificial light. It's probably gonna have the same effect. And caffeine, which you can use, which is a stimulant which is gonna keep you awake at night mostly. I would say avoid it as much as you can, but if you're a worker or a heavy caffeine addict like me, we will have to control it and moderate it to some amounts. If I'm caffeinated past 4 p.m., I am definitely not going to go to sleep before 10 p.m. Why? Because I've learned it stays in my system stays in our system for 7 hours. How? By blocking out this molecule called adenosine, which is the molecule which makes you tired, and like it blocks it and doesn't let it like attach to the receptors. What I implement is not having coffee 8 hours before I go to sleep. Like how you see, it's gonna stay in my system for 7 hours, but just in case, I'll not drink it before 8 hours of sleeping. So of my intended bedtime, that is. So if I want to go to sleep at 9, I'll subtract 8 hours from it. So which is 1 p.m. So I can't drink any coffee after 1 p.m. of waking up. Of after 1 p.m. if I were to go to sleep at 9 p.m. But if I want that caffeine high, I'll drink something mild like a tea past 1 p.m. So yeah, I get the benefits of both of the worlds. And I suggest you go to non-caffeinated protocol first of all, and to avoid getting the crash and the sluggishness which you get in the afternoons because you have drank caffeine right after waking up and you have not waited at all, which the crash makes you want to go for another hit of caffeine in the afternoons or evenings, and that another hit of caffeine is gonna keep you awake till like past your bedtime or your intended bedtime. You get this crash, and because the coffee you had in the morning right after waking up gets removed and gets washed out by your system like after 7 hours. This is why I would suggest you to drink coffee or any caffeinated substance 1 hour after waking up, 1 hour or 90 minutes after waking up. So think about it this way. If you had caffeine too early in your circadian rhythm, which gets removed like around midday or evening, if you feel sluggish and crashed because caffeine gets removed, you go for another hit of coffee or caffeine, which makes you sleep later at night than you intended. If you wake up in the next morning on your intended bedtime, you'll be sleep deprived. And if you're sleep deprived, you're groggy, you don't want to work out, you'll go for another hit of coffee right after waking up because you can't handle it, which keeps this vicious cycle going on. You see, you again had another hit of coffee right after waking up because you're groggy from the last night. And if you still sleep in, and because you're clearly sleep deprived because you went to sleep last night later than your intended bedtime, then that's just time wasted. And us men are really busy, we can't waste our fucking time sleeping in. So to avoid all of this bullshit, just drink coffee 1 hour after waking up or 90 minutes after waking up. Trust me, you'll thank me for this. And that's it, that's for the video. If you have found any value or any sort of like inspiration, drop a like, comment, and follow me on Instagram. I'll put the link down below, and ask for any questions or insights you may have. Thank you for watching.